not just the Chinese embassy, not just the People's Republic of China, but several ministries, including the Women and Child Ministry, schemes under the Rajiv Gandhi government meant for women and children. Funds from those schemes were transferred to the Rajiv Gandhi Foundation from 2005 to 2015. Now, several ministries, several public sector units, public sector banks, not just that, the Prime Minister's relief fund, where money is collected for disasters, disaster management, for emergency. Now that fund was also, not the complete fund of course, but part of that fund was also diverted or donated to the Rajiv Gandhi Foundation. Now details available with Republic TV show how the dangerous trend unfolded. Not just that, Republic TV has also accessed details of how the Rajiv Foundation tied up with a Chinese lobby group, a group that is a liaison group between the Chinese People's Liberation Army, the Communist Party of China. It acts as a bridge between the army and government and foreign governments overseas. Now, these are details that Republic TV has picked up in the course of the last 24 hours. This comes after the details that emerged of how the Chinese embassy, the Chinese government also funded the Rajiv Foundation. Now, let me go across first up as we get you the details to also Pradeep Bhandari joining us on this broadcast, and Danish Qureshi is also joining us, and Ajit Datta will also be joining us live. But earlier, when we broke that story, some strong reactions came in, some asking for an investigation into the Rajiv Foundation. Here are some of those responses.
बंधुगण, इस परिवार ने, ये जो वाड्रा गांधी परिवार है, इस परिवार ने जिस प्रकार पीएम नेशनल रिलीफ फंड के पैसे को अपने स्वार्थ के लिए इस्तेमाल किया है, यह अपने आप में घृणक है, यह अपने आप में एक बहुत बड़ी बात है, भ्रष्टाचार की पराकाष्ठा है। आप जानते हैं मनमोहन सिंह तो प्रधानमंत्री केवल नाम मात्र के थे, सुपर पीएम कौन थी यह आप भी जानते हैं। सुपर पीएम वो सोनिया गांधी। शी वॉज इन द बोर्ड ऑफ द प्राइम मिनिस्टर नेशनल रिलीफ फंड एंड मनी वॉज डाइवर्टेड फ्रॉम द प्राइम मिनिस्टर नेशनल रिलीफ फंड टू द राजीव गांधी फाउंडेशन। यह राजीव गांधी फाउंडेशन एक परिवार का फाउंडेशन है। यह राजीव गांधी पूर्व प्रधानमंत्री जी के नाम पे यह परिवार चलाती है। उसके बोर्ड में भी सोनिया गांधी है। शी चेयर्स द फाउंडेशन। राजीव गांधी फाउंडेशन को कोई चेयर करता है, उसके सबसे बड़े पद पे कोई बैठा है, आसीन है, तो वो सोनिया गांधी जी है। पीएम नेशनल रिलीफ फंड में भी सोनिया गांधी, राजीव गांधी फाउंडेशन में भी सोनिया गांधी। करप्शन एंड कॉन्स्पिरेसी इज दाई नेम। करप्शन एंड कॉन्स्पिरेसी इज दाई नेम कांग्रेस। कांग्रेस, अगर आपका कभी पर्यायवाची शब्द व्याकरण में भविष्य में लिखा जाएगा तो पर्यायवाची शब्दों में लिखा जाएगा कि भ्रष्टाचार माने कांग्रेस, षड्यंत्र माने कांग्रेस। यही सच्चाई है।
Dr. Swami, now we need to ask questions also about how this went unnoticed. Now, you've been talking about it for many years, Dr. Swami, but now it's coming out in the open that, from the relief fund, from government money, public sector units, public sector banks, money has been siphoned to the Rajiv Gandhi Foundation. How deep is this rot, Dr. Swami?
It's a very serious matter because we have FCRA, especially for those who are in politics and in journalism and so on, that you cannot take money
from a foreign source without prior permission of the Home Ministry. And that has not been done in this case. Moreover, the Rajiv Gandhi Foundation is illegally on that plot. That plot was given during Rajiv Gandhi's time to build a alternative to Akbar Road and build a party office, just like we have done in Deen Dayal Upadhyay Marg. And no sooner Rajiv Gandhi died in 1991, I don't know what they did. They transformed that into Rajiv Gandhi Foundation, which is a private body. and with private, the board of directors, everybody is private, and Ms. Sonia Gandhi, Ms. Priyanka Gandhi is now heading it. And this has been getting money from foreign embassies. I mean, of course, they have got from many embassies, but the fact is that this should have been cleared with the Home Ministry. And the punishment under FCRA, which is a law passed by Mrs. Gandhi during the emergency, is very, very strict. So I don't know. I did raise this in 2015, but that time the finance minister was not in favor of proceeding with this matter. And it just kept lying there. And all that now I'm asking in a letter to the Prime Minister today, in view of all that's come out, to refer to my earlier letter and take over this thing, nationalize the Rajiv Gandhi Foundation building and cancel the order for Congress party to get the plot, because it has been misused for another purpose.
Okay, let me go across to Ajit Datta, who's a journalist joining us. He also tweeted about this link of the Chinese lobbying group that had worked closely with the Rajiv Foundation. Ajit, why is this link dangerous in your view? Now, when we checked up a little bit more, it speaks of lobbying and, ensuring that the propaganda of the Communist Party of China and the PLA are delivered across the world.
Yeah, so actually this particular information is rather clandestine. Information about it in the whatever little is available. What I have found is that they indulge in propaganda, they indulge in trying to get close to the top leadership of any country and so on and so forth. And that is very clear with the way that they have approached the Rajiv Gandhi Foundation. And this association is directly part of the Chinese military, according to whatever information is available in the public domain. If you see the year under which this is listed on the Rajiv Gandhi Foundation website, it's listed under the year 2004-2005, which means that this was the very first year of the Manmohan government, very first year of the UPA government. And therefore, you can understand how dangerous it was that they managed to access this trust, which had the absolute top people of the country back then, union ministers, the Congress president, and so on and so forth. And they had some kind of a partnership with that trust in the very first year that the Manmohan Singh government came to power.
Yeah, let me also go across to Saurabh Shukla joining us now on the broadcast. Saurabh Shukla is editor of newsmobile.in. Saurabh, we've been putting out details of the others who paid Rajiv Foundation or donated. Now, donation is the word that they will use legally, but we find it highly controversial that ministries, public sector units, public sector banks, well, the Prime Minister's relief fund even, transferring money or making donations to the Rajiv Foundation, isn't that conflict of interest? Now, there are many questions that will have to be raised and also investigated on how government agencies, government bodies, and it's a known fact, Saurabh, while I also bring you in, that in 1992-91, the same Congress government, I think Manmohan Singh was the finance minister then, was eager to allocate 100 crore to the Rajiv Foundation, a private body, Saurabh.
Niranjan, it's very shocking. I've seen the list that has come out. It's indeed shocking because, I would say that any political party, especially a party which has ruled the country for so long, should have realized that there are certain countries. And let me talk to you first about China. China is a country which has been a country which is sensitive to India because of the, obviously the inimical interest that China has been having. And I've been talking about on your shows and a lot of other shows that I've done about this whole cyber tactics that the Chinese had been indulging in. This is all part of a well-thought strategy by the Chinese to win and buy influence. The Congress party should have been very clear, and in fact there are enough people, enough leaders in the Congress party who are well versed with diplomacy. They should have cautioned the Congress party that taking money from China and and Chinese bodies would be, would be great conflict of interest at a time when we were trying to defend our national interest. Because, obviously, do know that there are certain countries from which you don't take, any donation, especially at the time when your party was running the government. On the other part, on issues like, say, for instance, Prime Minister's Relief Fund, for instance. Prime Minister's Relief Fund is largely meant for relief measures across the country, for famines, or for disaster relief, for a lot of other things. Getting obviously money out of that obviously is not something which is unethical. Also, the government must probe if any law has been violated. Certainly, the punishment needs to be meted. But I am again telling you, on the part explanation, why was that done, what were the circumstances, because clearly was there a ploy? Because obviously, what has been happening in modern day diplomacy is a lot of countries are trying to exert pressure on governments through different channels. They know that through official means they can't get away with their own agenda to serve. That's the reason they try to exert pressure. Chinese are masters of that. I would say they should probe of what all money has been given by the Chinese embassy, what all organizations have received this money, because obviously at the end of the day we want to know that we're all in a conflict of interest. And I would say any party which is money in larger public interest, we are facing.
Saurabh, I'm losing your link. Yeah. We have a poor audio line with you, Saurabh, but hear me out. Saurabh and Ajit, hear me out. This morning, just as we were getting details of who all funded or where the money was coming from, how public money was diverted to the Gandhi Family Trust, or the Rajiv Foundation, we also found a very interesting development between the years of 2006 and 2012. Now, the development pertains to China. Now, believe it or not, Saurabh and Ajit, we have details, and let me play out the graphics of the RCEP surrender. RCEP surrender of the Congress party is a story we broke this morning. Now, in this story, we found out that Congress party and the UPA government were keen on allowing China enter the Indian market despite concerns by government bodies, concerns by bureaucrats, concerns raised in government reports. Now, at the bureaucratic level, the truth is put out of what the trade bodies think. They feel that you can't give a free trade agreement and enter a free trade agreement with China because of the trade deficit. Not just that, it's a big concern to the Indian businesses. Despite all of these reservations, the Congress party still went ahead for the RCEP negotiations. They moved ahead. Anand Sharma's signature is on the documents dated October 2012. We'll also show out those graphics when we broke that story of Congress's RCEP surrender. Now, why is this story curious? And why are we talking about this trust called Rajiv Foundation? We're talking about the story because a few days back in Ladakh, there was a face-off. 20 of our brave hearts were martyred. Now, the Congress party went to town asking people, questioning our forces, questioning our army, and asking if the Chinese had occupied Indian land. Now, let's tell you some of the facts as they are. The army has put its facts on record, saying that we have not allowed the Chinese to make any incursions. We have pushed them back. And in the context of China, Congress party in 2012 admitted that they had usurped 38,000 square kilometers of our land in the Aksai Chin and along the LAC. Now, the same Congress party, which was raising questions, had also cozied up to the cozied up to China, signed an MOU, taken funding from the Chinese government, and bent over backwards to allow China into India's market. Now, these are details available, and I wanted to ask you that question, Saurabh, of the RCEP surrender while we show our viewers the graphics of how the Congress party, despite concerns, gave China a free hand in Indian trade. The story just falls into place when you pick up the pieces.
Yeah. Are you asking me, Niranjan?
Yeah, sort of.
that's what is intriguing. It becomes even more intriguing when you see some kind of a connect, as you are saying, being drawn about RCEP buckling down. Was it done under any pressure? That's what I'm saying. So there's a need for a proper inquiry into this, because obviously there were some national interest which was compromised. Was it being done? Because I know for a fact that there has been an opposition to RCEP by a lot of people in the government when it comes to diplomats who have been defending in any way. In fact, things not scrutinize government files, because I do know that when it comes to diplomats, when it comes to bureaucrats, they like to maintain records to make sure that time there is a pressure from the they try.
Their name can be clear.
Saurabh,
So clearly now
I have a poor audio line with you.
Now that we
Saurabh, only because I have a poor audio line with you, I'll have to cut this short. I have a poor audio line with you because your audio is a little choppy. So we'll try and reconnect that. Saurabh and Ajit Datta, thank you for joining us. For now, we'll take a short break and come back with the head.